and welcome to February's Tarotcast. Another month has come and it's time to find out what the energies are for us. Let's start with the collective. Of course, as always. What do we have? Ooh, the Tower. Oh no, this is actually a good thing, I think, because we all know the world's gone down to tits and we need to change it, and the Tower helps us change the world. Yay! What the Tower means is that we will be deconstructing everything in order to get down to the foundations and restart building again. So when it comes to the fact that the world is a bit chaotic, this is a good thing. It means we are going to go back and we're going to start building everything, and this time we've learned our lessons, hopefully, and we start building things right again. Yay! Aries. Aries, you have the Hangman. The Hangman comes to tell you that you need to shift perspective somehow. There is something that maybe you always looked in a particular way, you thought of as in a particular way, and this month is all about shifting your perspective and starting to look at things in a different way. It kind of matches the Tower for the collective, where if we need to start fresh, if we need to start building from the beginning, we want to look at things differently so we don't do the same mistakes. So this month for you is about shifting those perspectives and looking and seeing and listening at things, to things in a different way. Taurus, you got art, which is temperance. So it's all about finding balance, finding the right formula for you where you can maintain yourself. So are you working too much? Are you partying too much? Which one is it too much and which one does need more of? And we want to find that balance. So this month is about looking at your life and just looking at what is too much of, or what there is not enough of, and balance these things out into the perfect formula for you. Gemini, you get the Aeon, which is judgment. Judgment is about observing yourself, observing what you have achieved. It's almost like the end of the road. It's when you're doing your final analysis of the path that you've been going through so far. So you want to look back and you want to see what did you do that was right, and you want to keep doing what did you do that wasn't right and you don't want to do again. You just need to time for reflection. It's basically self-reflection, and how can we start in a better way. Cancer, you got the Emperor. So it's all about structures, and considering we have the Tower for the collective, for you it's about how can you build. You're a very emotional creature, you're very sensitive, and there's a lot of beauty that comes to that, but it also means, being a water sign, that you flow a lot and sometimes you miss on building the structures. So this month you want to look at your life and you want to understand what structures can you put in place that then allow you to have that flow without feeling lost. So if you have the structure in place, then you can float around the structure happily and you never get lost, right? Build yourself a map. Leo, you got the Wheel of Fortune. Big times. You had a very spiritual month last month, and I guess it was needed, because when the Wheel of Fortune comes, it means you are going to go through a period that is a milestone you've chosen for your life before you even came to this life. So it's about fate, it's destiny, it's you can't escape it, or you need to create it, either or. But it is important. It's an important month for you. And if we're going to go back to the Tower for the collective and restructuring things and restructuring society, you have probably a pivotal role to play in how do we get this. Use your big heart, Leo, to understand how can we rebuild things So yeah, pay attention to whatever messages you receive this month that will be important, not just for you, but for the collective as well. Virgo, you got the devil. It's all about figuring out your self-sabotaging tendencies. Considering we have the Tower for the collective, for you it's about deconstructing these self-sabotaging tendencies. So when you're free from them, you can start a new path in which you're not going to debilitate yourself by allowing this self-sabotaging to come in, right? So you free yourself from it and you bring a lot of freedom into your life by also increasing your sense of trust in yourself. You know you're going to trust yourself and to do a certain thing because you know that self-sabotaging behavior won't come in anymore. So pay attention this month. What is your self-sabotaging tendencies? When are they coming through? And work on shifting them. Libra, you got adjustment, which is justice. It's funny because you are very well known for your indecisiveness, and of course adjustment is all about making decisions, the right ones for that fact, understanding what brings one to make the right decision, and trusting those decisions, trusting that you have done the right decision. So your work this month is really to, even if we take it to the collective of the Tower and deconstructing things and coming back to the foundations, your work this month is to really understand which area of your life you have these indecisions most predominantly, and work through them and start working on the trust that you can have in yourself to actually make the right decisions without relying on other people. Scorpio, you got the Hierophant. So Scorpio, the Hierophant is all about the institutions that are around you that affect your life. We all have them. They're part of society. And if we go back to the collective card of the Tower and we understand that we have to deconstruct these things that aren't right in society, you're obviously playing a role here with the Hierophant on deciding what kind of institutions need to be or not need to be, And when we're talking about institutions, I'm just going to give the example of a schooling system. You have the government school system, and then you have the alternative school systems, and maybe you are for one or maybe you are for other. But which one is right? You got to have to create that fight of making one more predominant for other people as well. Like, share that message of the institution that you believe to be right, and help others find their way into the right institutions too. So pay attention to what is it for you and how can you help others to find the right ones for them as well. Sagittarius, you got the Empress. So Sagittarius, you have this very adventurous nature and you want to go to explore and all of these things. Right now you are being called to connect with your divine feminine energy. So the energy of receptivity. How do you receive? You're always on the action. You're always on the go. You're always of wanting to do this and do that and do that. How can you actually just stay still and allow things to come to you instead? So that's the deconstruction you have to do this month, is stop yourself from go, 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 go. And see what happens when you just wait. What happens? What comes? What does the universe send to you if you're just waiting? That's your task for this month, is to learn how to wait and to learn how to receive from without taking action to get it. Capricorn, the star is the healing card. So the star is about accepting who you are fully, light and shadow. So what is good about you? What are the mistakes that you make? And it's about forgiving yourself for the mistakes that you make, because the mistakes that you make are just part of who you are as well. And we all have the light and the shadow. So the star shows you both. And when you're in this process of understanding both, a lot of healing can happen. Because you can shift those shadows, but you can't shift them unless you look at the shadow itself. So as we are going through the Tower for the collective, your task this month is to really understand where your shadow is and bring light into it. Aquarius, you got the universe. So the universe is about completion, something coming to an end, closing a cycle. And as we have the Tower for the collective telling us to deconstruct and destroy society, things, and start all over, your task this month is to see what can be concluded, what is there in your life that has no more space and needs to be finished. It needs to come to the finish line. So you can then start a new cycle, a more progressive cycle, a more innovative cycle, if that's even a word. But you know what I mean. So that's your task for this month. What can end? What can end? And bring it to the end. Pisces, you got lust, also known as strength. The reason this card is called lust in this deck is because you need a lot of strength to not fall into the lust energy. Although we can also look at lust energy a healthy way if we're just talking about how connecting to our sensuality can bring strength, because it is this kind of power. When you are connected to your sensuality, you are opening up the womb of creativity, we can say. So as we are in this collective energy of the Tower and destruction and deconstruction, your task for this month is to connect with your personal sensuality and see how that can open up to something new that can be started. How is this energy in your life right now maybe being used in a negative way, and how can you transform it, or how can you bring it back to the roots and start using it in a healthy way? Thank you everyone for watching, and I shall see you next week. Lots of love.